Hotel owner discovers hidden daughter among staff. Incredible moment when she says, "Dad," revealed. Tom Bennett stood at the entrance of his hotel, breath heavy with anxiety. The Maplewood Inn, once a symbol of prosperity, now whispered tales of survival. The American dream felt more like an echo in the shadows, fading with every financial struggle. Tom, at 45, poured himself into saving the hotel, each sleepless night carving deeper lines of worry into his brow. He remembered the sound of laughter and joy that filled the lobby. Now, it felt like ghosts lingered, reminding him of everything he had lost, his family, his connection to his daughter, Lily. With the hotel flirting with the brink of closure, he made a desperate move, hiring staff from local shelters. It was a compassionate act, but also a lifeline for those drowning in despair. As the sun dipped low over Maplewood, transforming the sky into a palette of oranges and violets, the hotel buzzed with the sounds of new beginnings. Among the waitstaff was a young woman named Lily. She was quiet, her focused diligence marked by a kindness that echoed through the clattering plates and murmurs of guests. What Tom didn't know was that this Lily bore his last name, the very name he had thought he lost in the dust of his failed marriage. Day by day, Tom watched the hotel transform into a haven for hope. Yet, amid the flickering lights of struggle, tensions among employees simmered. Fear of layoffs hung heavy like a dark cloud. As they prepared for the annual community event, the atmosphere crackled with desperation. Employees exchanged worried glances, hands twitching with anxiety. Every smile felt like a thin veil over mounting pressures. That night, chaos erupted. An emergency thundered down on the hotel as a power outage plunged everything into darkness, sending guests into a panic. Tom felt the weight of responsibility. He gathered his scattered team, urging them to pull together. "We need to stay calm. Our guests depend on us," he shouted over the growing clamor. Then came the words that shattered the fragile silence, "Dad." Without knowing the tempest swirling beneath that single utterance, Lily stood wide-eyed, the name a knife piercing through the years of pain. The room froze in disbelief. Tom's heart clenched, memories flooding back, his daughter's laughter, the heartbreak of their estrangement, the bitterness lingering from the divorce. In that stunned moment, everything shifted. Anger, love, betrayal, and longing wrestled within him. Yet, in the eyes of the staff around them and the frightened guests peeking through doors, a profound truth lingered: there was an undeniable bond longing to be mended. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tom stood frozen, the air thick with unsaid words and unhealed wounds. Everyone around them sensed the shift, a room full of people lean in, breathless, witnessing a tension woven tightly with the strands of shared history. Could a father truly reach his daughter through years of hurt? Could Lily allow herself to feel love for a man who had once walked away? The fate of their bond teetered on the brink of hope, aching for understanding in the midst of chaos. As Tom and Lily locked eyes, the question loomed heavy in the air: could they emerge from the shadows of misunderstanding together, or would the past cast them apart forever? The silence stretched on, thick and heavy, as the realization hung between them. Tom's heart raced, caught between fear and a flicker of hope. The faces around them blurred into the backdrop, their reactions muffled like distant echoes. He wanted to scream, to shout out how much he had longed to see her again. Instead, all that came out was a whisper, filled with uncertainty. "Lily," he breathed, his voice cracking. Her expression morphed, and a trace of confusion sparked in her eyes. Could she truly recognize him after all these years, or was this just a moment of panic for both of them? The flickering emergency lights cast an eerie glow, revealing a mixture of astonishment, worry, and something that resembled yearning in her features. "Is it really you?" she asked, hesitating as if the very word felt foreign on her tongue. Tom swallowed hard, each thought colliding with another apologies he owed, the years lost, the birthdays missed. It's me. Your dad." Those words came rushing out in an uncontrolled tide, carrying both regret and a promise. The chaos around them faded, the frightened guests still murmured in the dark, but Tom saw only Lily. It was as if time had warped, shifting them both back to moments before everything fell apart. In her eyes, he saw a flicker of recognition but also a depth of pain that mirrored his own. Memories of lost celebrations and missed opportunities flooded his mind, but he found himself desperately seeking a path forward. She took a step backward, her guard instinctively up, almost fragile. "You left. You walked away, Dad." "Why now?" "Because I was afraid," he admitted, anguish slicing through him. "Afraid of failing you, of replacing what I thought we had. I thought distance would make it easier. I didn't know how to reach out." Her eyes glistened, shimmering with unshed tears. "Easier for whom?" The bitterness was palpable, resonating in every word. "I wish I could take it all back," he replied, his chest tightening. "I never stopped thinking about you. I never wanted to let you go." Just then, a loud clap of thunder shook the building, and a few guests gasped. The moment felt urgent, as if the storm outside mirrored the tempest brewing between them. Tom glanced around at the team. His staff stood there, a mix of shock and empathy etched on their faces. They were family, too, each of them battling their demons, so drawn into the world of survival that it seemed almost remarkable. "Let us get through this together," he said, searching her eyes for a sign, a thread of connection. "Whatever it takes. You have so much light in you, I can see it. Let us not let the past drown that out." The pleading in his voice, the raw emotion behind it, sparked a flicker of hope. Lily hesitated, and for a fleeting second, the wall around her heart appeared to weaken. Could they carve a path out of the rubble together? Just then, the lights flickered back to life, revealing the anxious faces of guests trying to regain their composure. Tom blinked, snapping back to the present as uncertainty crept back in. "Lily." He began again, but this time, it was different. Before he could finish, she turned away, stepping back into the chaos of the hotel. "I need time," she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. As she disappeared, Tom felt the weight of 10 years in that moment, leaving him empty yet bursting with the desire to mend the years lost. Could time be the healer they desperately needed? The question now remained: would Lily allow him back into her life, or would the wounds of the past forever tangle their futures? Tom stood there, staring into the chaotic hotel lobby, the clamor of voices ringing faintly as a new determination rose within him. He had to find a way. And he was ready to fight for them both. But little did he know, an unexpected obstacle was already on the horizon, one that would challenge everything he thought was possible. What was lurking in the shadows, waiting to unravel the fragile bond they were trying to rebuild? The storm was just beginning. Tom blinked away his despair, still standing in the bustling lobby as the chaos around him returned to life. The sounds of rain beating against the windows replaced the ominous silence. The crowd, once frenzied by darkness, was now buzzing with nervous energy. He could feel their eyes darting over him, taking in the spectacle of the long-lost father and daughter, but all that mattered was Lily. He turned to follow her, each step heavy as if the ground itself resisted him, desperate to reclaim the precious minutes evaporating in front of him. "Lily!" He called again, his voice breaking through the din. But she was gone, lost in the scattered faces, the body of people moving around like a river washed over with confusion. His heart slipped further into despair, longing to bridge the distance that felt more like miles than mere steps. "Tom, are you okay?" A familiar voice jolted him back to the present. It was Carla, his assistant and a fierce ally. Her brow was furrowed, concern etching lines across her face. He forced a nod, but dread pooled in his stomach. No, not really. I just saw her after so long. It's like she doesn't want to see me again. We'll find her, Carla assured, her voice steady. You need to talk to her. Closure doesn't happen on its own. Closure, he echoed, the word tasting bitter on his tongue. But it's not that simple. She was just a kid when I left. Tom could see the look of empathy in her eyes. But she's not just a kid anymore. She's a person. Someone who needs to process this, just like you do. In that moment, Tom knew he had to break through Lily's defenses. But how? What could he say to connect with the daughter he had hurt so deeply? As he wrestled with his thoughts, the thunder rumbled again, echoing ominously through the hotel. The rain began to pour harder, the harsh sound drowning out the conversations. It almost seemed to reflect his own turbulent feelings. I'll help you, Carla said, her voice resolute. You know where she usually spends her time after shifts, right? He hesitated, his mind racing. Memories of the happy girl who used to draw on napkins for him swirled in his mind. Cafeteria. She always loves to hang out there. It's quiet. Then let us go, Carla insisted, taking his arm. Tom felt a flicker of reassurance at her determination. Together they pushed through the crowd and made their way to the staff cafeteria. Each step was charged with a mix of anticipation and dread. What if Lily wouldn't listen? What if he opened old wounds instead of healing them? When they finally reached the door, he paused, letting the moment sink in. The noise of the hotel faded away, replaced by a quiet stillness that echoed Tom's heart. Remember, she needs you to be honest, Carla urged, just before he turned the handle. With trepidation, he pushed the door open, stepping into the sparsely furnished room filled with fluorescent lights and inadequately stocked vending machines. At one of the tables, he found Lily sitting with her arms crossed, staring out the window, rain blurring her reflection. Dad? She said, her voice barely audible. Tom caught his breath, feeling the weight of the moment. Lily, I need to know why, she interrupted, turning to face him, emotions dancing across her face, a mix of anger, fear, and, underneath, a flicker of hope. What do you mean why? He asked, stepping closer, his heart pounding. Why did you leave? And why do you think I should forgive you? She stood, her voice rising, pain spilling over the edges. Tom felt the walls around him close in. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want a chance to explain, to try and fix what I broke. But even as he spoke, a dark shadow passed over her face, something deeper than just anger. The vulnerability of her youth flashed before his eyes, and he wondered just how much scar tissue was buried under the surface. Well, it's not that easy, is it? She said, her voice dropping again, laced with disappointment. How do I know you want to leave again? You don't, he said, the weight of his own truth settling over him like a heavy cloak. But I'm here. Now, and I want to be part of your life again. As the rain cascaded against the window, Tom realized the storm inside them both was nowhere near subsiding. How could a father and daughter rebuild when the past loomed so large? They stood staring at each other, the tension crackling in the air. What would happen now? Would he finally uncover the truth of her pain, or was this the final moment when their paths diverged forever? Lily's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, and for a moment, the world outside blurred into insignificance. It was just the two of them, father and daughter, trapped in an emotional standoff, the rain a mere backdrop to their storm. Tom's heart raced, each beat echoing the urgency of their moment. She was everything he'd lost, and now, standing before her, he felt the weight of regret heavy on his shoulders. Why did you leave me, Dad? The question hung in the air, taut and painful, and Tom swallowed hard. This was the moment he had feared and anticipated all at once, the chance to explain himself, to finally face the truth. I was scared, Lily, he said, his voice shaky yet full of determination. I didn't know how to be a father, and I thought leaving was easier. I was wrong. She scoffed, the bitterness cutting through the fragile atmosphere. Easier for you, huh? You just walked away while I was left to wonder what I did wrong. No. That's not it. His voice rose, but he softened, desperate to reach her. You didn't do anything wrong. It was my failing, my fear. I thought I was doing the right thing for you. You deserved a better life than I could give. I couldn't see it until it was too late. Lily shook her head, a mix of anger and hurt clouding her features. You think that makes it okay? You think that justifies disappearing and never even looking back? Tom felt the heat of her words. No, I don't. And it's not okay. I'd give anything to take back those years. Please just let me try to make it right. What can you even do now? She challenged, chin raised defiantly. You're just a stranger to me. Those words cut deep, and he flinched, memories of her laughter and warmth flooding back the girl who had once looked up at him with such adoration. I'm not asking for you to forget who I was. I just want a chance to get to know you now. And what if you just leave again? She said, the vulnerability spilling out of her like a hidden wound. Tom stepped closer, his heart pounding as he reached out, not touching but holding space for her to come to him. I can't promise I won't mess up again. I'm human. But I can promise that I want to be here, for as long as you'll let me. For a brief moment, their eyes locked, and in that silence, they shared a fragile understanding. But then sadness crept back into her expression, an invisible barrier still hanging between them. Why should I believe you? Because I've spent every day regretting the distance between us. I'll do whatever it takes to build that bridge back, he urged, desperation tinging his voice. I want you to know the real me, to share in your life, even the hurt. The vulnerability in her stance wavered. Tom could see the flicker of hope, battling the storm. What if I'm just not ready? She whispered, her walls dropping slightly. Then I'll wait, he said, sincerity washing over his words. I'll wait as long as it takes. With the rhythm of the rain tapping against the window, a moment of silence stretched between them, charged with possibility. Lily's defenses began to crumple, but just as she opened her mouth to respond, the door behind Tom swung open and a small group of employees entered, their lively conversation piercing the bubble of their intimacy. Startled, Lily stepped back, shielding herself with her arms once again. The chance to connect faltered as distraction filled the air, laughter ringing out, glares were exchanged. Tom felt the moment slip away, the precious thread of honesty now tugged tight under the weight of others' presence. I'll be right back, she muttered, her voice small as she turned away, escaping into the crowd. Lily, wait, he called after her, but she was gone, lost in the tide of people. Frustration bubbled within him, a mix of hopelessness and determination surging forth. How could he reach her when every attempt was met with retreat? Tom slumped against the wall, catching his breath, replaying the moment in his mind. What if he had the wrong approach? What if it would take more than this one conversation to reach her heart? As he pondered, he felt Carla's presence beside him. You were so close, Tom. What do I do now? She glanced at the door through which Lily had vanished, then back at him, her eyes sharp with resolve. You keep trying. You don't give up on her. You didn't give up before. Tom nodded, already crafting his next move, his mind racing with possibilities. Maybe it wasn't just about confronting the past, maybe it was about creating a new future. Would sharing more of his own scars help? As the rain continued to fall, Tom sensed a shift inside him. There was no turning back now, and a flicker of hope ignited within him that perhaps they'd find a way. But for now, all he could do was wait and prepare for the next chance, the next conversation that might finally open the door to healing. The question was, would she be willing to step through it? Tom leaned against the wall, his thoughts spiraling with a whirlwind of possibilities. The laughter of the group that had interrupted them rang loudly in his ears, an unwelcome reminder that life continued despite the depths of his heartache. How could a moment that felt so intimate fall apart so quickly? Wow, what a day. Carla chimed, breaking his reverie. I saw the way you two were connecting. It was something special. Yeah, until it wasn't, Tom muttered, glancing towards the door Lily disappeared through. His heart sank at the thought of her pulling away again. He couldn't let that happen. Have you thought about what you want to say next? She pressed, her eyes on him with an encouraging warmth. I don't know, he sighed, looking defeated. Maybe I need a different angle. I just need her to understand I'm here for good. That I won't disappear again. Carla nodded, a line forming between her brows. What if you shared something personal? Something that shows you're vulnerable too? Tom thought for a moment. He hadn't opened up about his own struggles, not like this. Would it help? You think she'd want to hear it? Carla smirked. You'd be surprised. Everyone has their story. Kids especially are curious about their parents' past. It makes them feel connected. A flicker of determination ignited in Tom. He took a deep breath, absorbing her words. Okay, I'll try that. I need to do something before she thinks I'm just another part of the hotel staff. That's the spirit. You got this. Carla encouraged, watching him as he straightened his shoulders and took another fleeting glance at the door. With a sudden burst of energy, he walked toward the bustling lobby. People milled about, laughter mingling with the sounds of rain hitting the glass. But his focus was laser-sharp. He needed to find Lily. He scanned the crowd, his heart quickening when he spotted her at the far end, talking with a group of co-workers. She looked both at ease and guarded, and his chest tightened at the sight. He had to push past that barrier. Just as he made his way towards her, he felt a hand on his shoulder. Tom. It was Jack, one of the employees who had been a friend through thick and thin. Hey, did I just see you and Lily talking? You two looked intense. Tom hesitated but knew Jack meant well. Yeah, we were, but I think I messed it up. Jack frowned, glancing toward Lily before returning his attention to Tom. Hey, listen. You're her dad, right? No one can take that away from you. Just be real with her. Tom appreciated the kind words but felt a weight on his heart. I'm trying, man. I just don't know how. Start by being honest, Jack said simply, clapping Tom on the back. You've got a story. Share it. Tom nodded, the seed of hope taking root. Jack's encouragement felt like a lifeline. As he approached the group again, he noticed Lily glance his direction, a mix of surprise and apprehension flaring in her eyes. Hey, Lily. He called out, tapping into the resolve bubbling beneath the surface. Her friends quieted, their attention shifting to him. He took a step closer, drawing a deep breath as he locked eyes with her. Can we talk? Just the two of us? For the briefest moment, uncertainty flickered across her face. But then, to Tom's surprise, she nodded. Okay, let us go outside, away from them. The rhythm of the rain had softened, now a gentle whisper that reminded him of their earlier conversation. As they stepped outside, the cool air wrapped around them, drawing a new layer of intimacy. Tom felt his heart race again, but this time with hope. He didn't want to waste this chance. Lily, I know I've hurt you. I've hurt myself too. And I want you to understand. But as he began to share, her expression shifted, and for a moment, he thought he saw a glimmer of something, curiosity, perhaps? If he could just get her to listen. Just then, a crash of thunder echoed above them, and they both startled. It was a reminder of the raw truth of the storm brewing both outside and within them. Okay, maybe we should talk inside, she suggested, glancing back uncertainly over her shoulder. No. Wait. He blurted, urgency flooding his voice as he reached out slightly. Please, just let me say this. If you don't hear me now, I'm afraid I might lose my chance again. Lily paused, her gaze wavering. What would she say? Would she step in closer or retreat again? He held his breath, the weight of the moment pulsing through him, desperate to uncover if they could truly bridge that chasm of regret. Lily stared at him, uncertainty flickering across her face. The moment hung thick between them, charged with a mix of fear and hope. Tom could see her weighing his words, filtering through the layers of hurt they'd both experienced. His heart thudded painfully in his chest as he desperately searched for the right thing to say. "I can't change the past," he started, trying to keep his voice steady, "but what I can do is be here for you now. The time I missed it haunts me every day. I lost so many moments that I should have shared with you." He took a breath. "I just want to know you." She shifted her weight, her eyes darting to the ground as if the pavement had secrets. "And why should I believe you? You left." Her words pierced through him like shards of glass. He winced but didn't step back. "I know I did, and I can't blame you for being angry. I messed up. I thought I was protecting you by staying away, but maybe I was just a coward." For the first time since they'd stepped outside, he didn't just see uncertainty in her eyes, he saw something else, an opening. It was small, barely a glint, but it was there. "I want to share my life with you, Lily. I want you to know me, the real me." She looked back at him, her brow furrowing deeper. "What makes you think just sharing your story will mean anything? It doesn't change what happened." "No, it won't change the past," he admitted, feeling his chest constrict. "But it's a start. And I hope, over time, I can show you I can be different. That I can be the dad you deserve." Thunder rumbled again, louder this time, vibrating in the air around them. Tom stepped forward, letting the rain just touch his skin, desperate to break the fragile barrier still held between them. "I was scared, Lily. Scared of being a failure. I thought letting you go would keep you safe. But I realize now that it only hurt us both. And I'm here to make that right." He could see her processing this, her walls beginning to crack, just a little. "So, who are you really?" Relief washed over him. This was it. "I was a young man with big dreams, wanting to be the best at everything. I put those dreams before everything, before the most important thing, you. I didn't know how to be a father then. And now?" she asked, her voice small but curious. "Now I know I want to be present. I want to be involved in your life, learning who you are, your dreams, your struggles. I will mess up, I'm not perfect, but I promise I'll be here. The only way to connect is through being honest." She hesitated, her eyes searching his face like she was looking for truth among shadows. "You say that now. You didn't stick around before." "Fair point," he replied, swallowing hard. "I don't expect trust overnight. I just ask for a chance for us to build something together." The rain continued to fall lightly around them, a perfect backdrop to the storm of emotions they were both navigating. Slowly, Lily's defenses appeared to soften. "I guess sharing your story is a start," she murmured. "But it may take time for me to believe it." "Then let us take that time together," he urged. "Whenever you're ready, I'll be here." A small nod from her was the first flicker of hope he had dared to see. Then, from inside the hotel, Carla waved at him, concern lining her face as she gazed outside. Tom caught her eye, and everything seemed to sharpen in his mind. This was a step forward, but it was only the beginning. "Maybe we should head back in," Lily suggested quietly, still processing. "Sure," he said, thankful his voice held steady. "We can take it one step at a time." As they turned to head back to the lobby, Tom felt lighter, the weight of uncertainty slowly lifting. But just as they reached the door, Lily paused again. "Hey, Dad?" His heart leaped. It sounded so surreal but perfect. "Yes? I want to hear more about you, but it might take me a while to understand," he interrupted. "Take all the time you need. Just know that I'm here for you, always." With her gaze still on him, a small smile crept across Lily's face, igniting a warmth that spread through him. It felt like a beginning, a fragile yet promising connection. But as they stepped inside, he couldn't ignore the storm brewing again, not just outside but within her too. What would her next question be? Would she share her own fears or perhaps reveal what she truly thought of him? And so he braced himself for what was to come, ready for the journey ahead. What hidden truths were waiting to surface? Inside the hotel lobby, familiar scents of coffee and pastries wafted around them, momentarily breaking the tension. Tom glanced at Carla, who gave him a supportive nod, her eyes reflecting both worry and encouragement. They were still processing the conversation outside, a blend of relief and uncertainty hanging firmly in the air. "Let us sit for a bit," Lily suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. She led the way to a small table near the window, sunlight streaming in and casting soft patterns on the floor. Tom followed, his heart racing anew at the simple act of being so close to her. As they settled into their seats, Tom couldn't shake the feeling that everything was at a fragile turning point. "Thanks for talking to me, Lily," he said, somehow desperate to convey how much this moment mattered. Lily let out a small breath, letting her gaze wander out the window. I have so many questions, Dad. Like why you didn't want to be in my life." He felt the weight of her words like a heavy blanket resting on his shoulders. "It's not an easy answer," he admitted, rubbing the back of his neck. "But I guess it boils down to fear. I was terrified of what kind of dad I'd be, and I thought leaving would spare you the pain of disappointment." This time, she turned to face him, brow furrowed. "But it hurt more, didn't it? You being gone. I wanted you there." "More than you know," he replied, feeling the familiar sting in his eyes. "I missed everything, your first steps, birthday parties, all the little moments that add up to life." A brief silence fell over them, filled with thoughts neither could express. Then, Lily leaned in, her voice lowering almost conspiratorially. "What was it like when you thought about me?" His heart raced. The question was layered, stripping him down to his core. It was always a mixture. "I felt guilty, and sad, but also hopeful, thinking that maybe one day I could be there. I dreamed of it, honestly. That ID change. I thought it could still happen." Seeing her processing his answer was overwhelming. Her eyes glimmered with questions that didn't need to be spoken. "Sometimes I'd imagine what you'd look like while I was growing up. If you'd miss me as much as I missed you," she said softly. Tom swallowed hard, feeling the full impact of being brought back into her world. "You should know I think about you every single day. You're a part of me." At that moment, the weight shifted slightly. A tender connection blossomed between countering memories of absence. She seemed less like a stranger and more like the daughter he had always longed to know. "What do you like? I mean, other than me, of course," he added, attempting to lighten the mood with a hint of humor. Lily chuckled, a genuine sound that broke some of the tension. "Well, I love painting and I play the guitar. I guess that's why I'm so drawn to the way colors blend and how music feels in my bones." "That's amazing." He leaned in, eyes brightening. "Music can speak when words fail. Can I hear you play sometime?" She hesitated, a flicker of vulnerability crossing her face. "Maybe I don't play in front of people much. It feels too personal." "Then let us change that. If you ever want to share it, I'd be honored to hear," he offered, struck by how truly meaningful such an act could be. The smile that crept across her face was shy yet dazzling. It felt like a promise, an unspoken agreement. Building something from scratch took time, but perhaps it could flourish. "Okay," she said, the weight of her uncertainty lifting a touch. "But it might take me a while to get there." Just then, the door flew open, and a gust of wind burst into the lobby, making them both look up. Carla stepped closer with a concerned look on her face. "Hey, everything all right?" "It's great," Actually, Tom smiled, feeling the warmth of this newfound dynamic. But just as they began to bask in the moment, Lily suddenly turned serious again. You know, there's something else too. He leaned forward, the creeping anxiety sending heat through his chest. What was she about to reveal? What if I'm not what you hoped for? Tom took a deep breath, his heart racing again. You could never be anything less than what I've always wanted, Lily. You're enough, just as you are. But even as he said it, doubt crept into his thoughts. Could he handle what lay beneath her question? As the afternoon light shifted, they both knew they stood on the edge of confronting deeper fears and truths, ones that might define their relationship moving forward. What would they uncover together as they peeled back layers of mistrust and insecurity? Tom's heart thumped loudly in his chest, a mix of hope and fear. He sensed there was more Lily needed to say, more questions brewing beneath her surface. The warmth of the sunlight was no match for the cool chill of uncertainty that accompanied her words. What do you mean by that? He asked, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Lily glanced down at her hands, twisting the bracelet around her wrist, a fidget he recognized as her way of coping with discomfort. I mean, what if I'm not the person you imagined? What if you feel like you don't even know me? Her brows knotted together. I'm not that perfect daughter. I have my issues, you know. I'm just me. Tom searched her face for clarity. Lily, I've never expected perfection. I just wanted. He stopped, realizing how easily the emotional dam could break. I just want to understand you. And to be in your life, no matter what that looks like. The honesty of his words lingered in the air, thick and heavy. He could see her mulling over each syllable, testing them like fragile glass. It just feels like there's too much between us, she finally admitted. I hear people talk about their dads and I wonder, if I'm enough for someone like you. Lily, you are more than enough. I've seen enough of life to know that it's the messy, imperfect things that make us who we are, he replied, a small smile breaking through. And those things are what I want to know about you. The real you. She met his gaze, searching for sincerity and finding it reflected back at her. Slowly, a flicker of understanding ignited in her expression. Sometimes I feel like I have to be someone I'm not so I can be what you want. You don't have to pretend with me, Tom reassured her, the ache in his heart easing a little. I wish you could see yourself through my eyes. You're brave and creative, even if you think you're ordinary. I think that's incredible. Lily's shoulders relaxed for the first time since they sat down. I guess it's hard to believe that someone could want me as I am. I mean, knowing you've been gone all this time, it's a lot to wrap my head around. Her voice was quieter now, more vulnerable, and he could see she was wrestling with emotions he had yet to fully grasp. Just then, Carla chimed in, trying to break the tension. Hey, I've got real pastries here, want a taste? Maybe some sugar will sweeten the mood? They all laughed softly, yet Tom noticed that even within the joke, the gravity remained, hanging in the balance. While Lily attempted to smile, her face showed signs of strain as if pondering more than just their awkward reconnection. Thanks, but there's still so much we haven't explored, Lily said, her tone shifting back to that heavy sincerity. What if there are scars, things I never told you? Would that change how you look at me? Tom shook his head gently. No. Listen, whatever is buried in the past is a part of you. But it doesn't define who you are now or who we can be together. We'll deal with it together, okay? Okay, she whispered, their eyes locking for a moment that felt like solidarity forged in fire. The air shifted again, thickening with unsaid words and unleashed emotions. Can we start new? Lily asked, hope threading through her voice. Tom nodded, absorbing her anxiety and transforming it into an anchor of stability for them both. Yes. Together. We'll find our way. Before either could elaborate further, the bell above the hotel entrance jingled again. A sudden commotion erupted as a couple hurried inside, their voices rising in excitement about a new adventure. Did you hear that? They just got engaged. The woman squealed, her hand waving the ring, sparkling under the lobby lights. Tom caught a glimpse of Lily's fascination, the spark of youthful curiosity illuminating her expression. For a moment, her insecurities faded beneath the elation surrounding them. The excitement in the air created an almost electric atmosphere, reminding them of life's unpredictable beauty. He could see she needed to balance between this fresh spark of hope and the heaviness they both carried. His own heart raced as he realized this was just the beginning of their journey together, one that would require depth and openness. Can we talk more about our dreams and fears next time? Lily asked, her voice steady yet still holding a hint of hesitation. Definitely, he replied, the connection deepening as they shared that mutual understanding. But as they prepared to leave, a nagging question surfaced. Would he be able to support her through the shadows of her past, as she would, in turn, allow him to step back into her life fully? As they stepped outside into the vibrant world, a fresh wave of hope tinged with uncertainty washed over them, together navigating the unknown. What truths awaited them on the horizon, and would they uncover the courage to reveal what lay hidden in the depths of their hearts? The afternoon sun dipped lower, casting a warm glow that brushed against their skin like a gentle touch. Tom and Lily stepped out of the hotel, the bustling streets thrumming with life around them. For a brief moment, they stood in silence, absorbing the sounds and sights, letting the weight of the conversation hang suspended in the air. "Hey," Tom said, breaking the stillness, "want to grab some ice cream? It might just be the perfect touch for our fresh start." Lily smiled, her eyes lighting up in a way Tom hadn't seen before. "Ice cream sounds amazing. There's that little shop around the corner, right?" "Yep, the one with the crazy flavors," he replied, nudging her playfully as they walked. The playful banter was a far cry from the heavy talk they had shared moments before, yet it felt like a step in the right direction. As they made their way down the street, Tom stole glances at Lily. He noticed her hair glinting in the sunlight, curls bouncing slightly with each step. She seemed lighter, almost like she was starting to shed some of the layers she had wrapped around herself. They reached the ice cream shop, the scents of waffle cones and sweet treats wafting through the air. When they entered, the place buzzed with laughter and chatter, children bouncing on sugar. Tom felt himself relax a little more, comforted by the normalcy of the moment. "What do you want?" he asked, noticing the way Lily's eyes danced across the menu board. They have lavender honey," she suggested, her face lighting up with excitement. "Lavender? Are you serious?" he teased. "Just try it," she urged, and her unabashed enthusiasm made him chuckle. She ordered both the lavender and a scoop of pistachio, while Tom settled for good old chocolate. They found a cozy table outside, and sat down to savor each delicious bite. "So what do you think our next steps should be?" Tom asked between spoonfuls, feeling playful yet purposeful. "You know, aside from ice cream?" Lily looked thoughtful, her eyes moving from her cone to the busy street. "I guess we should talk more. Like, really talk. About everything, my life, your life, maybe share some of those scars." The vulnerability in her voice drew him in. He nodded, digesting her words. "That sounds good. I want to hear it all, but only when you're ready. No rush. We can take baby steps if we need to." She smiled half-heartedly, but there was something else lurking in her eyes. What if I told you something that could change things? What if she hesitated, unsure of how to bridge that gap between them? "Lily," he said gently, leaning closer, "you can tell me anything. Nothing you say will ever change how I feel about you, or my desire to be part of your life." Her breath held for a second, as if she was weighing the consequences. Finally she exhaled, "What if I have someone I need to let go of first? It's complicated, but I think it's intertwined with everything else." Tom felt a shift in his own heart, understanding the weight she was carrying. "You don't have to go through it alone, you know." "I know," she replied softly, her fingers tracing the edge of her cone. But it feels like I do, sometimes. This is all so new, and exposing parts of myself, it's scary. Tom reached out, placing his hand over hers, noting how small and fragile it felt. What if you told me about this someone? Maybe we can figure it out together, he offered. Lily locked eyes with him, a moment of connection that was electric. I think I want to. Their shared moment was interrupted by the sharp ring of her phone. She pulled it out, glancing at the caller ID, her breath hitching slightly. Is everything okay? Tom asked, sensing the sudden tension. It's my mom, she said, her voice strained. I should answer. As she hit the green button, uncertainty crept back into her expression. Lily, wait, he managed, but she was already engaged in the call, her world shifting once again. Now he could see the worry etched across her face, like storm clouds rolling in. What had she not said? What did that phone call hold for them? In that moment, Tom knew that this new chapter was balancing on such precarious threads. Could they withstand the storms approaching, or would the shadows of the past loom larger than their growing bond? Lily's voice trembled slightly as she answered the call, her expression shifting between concern and confusion. Tom watched, his heart hammering in his chest. He felt a sense of helplessness as she spoke to her mother. The way she bit her lip, the furrow in her brow, he could see a storm brewing behind her eyes. Mom, what do you mean? She asked, her voice rising just enough for him to catch the edge of panic. Is everything okay? Tom leaned in closer, wanting to be a part of this moment but feeling like an outsider. He could feel the tension in the air, thick and suffocating. What news could possibly bring that look to her face? As Lily listened, her grip around the cone loosened, and the precious treat fell to the ground, splattering against the pavement. She barely noticed, her focus entirely on the conversation. I didn't know you were coming. No, I can't talk right now. I'm with Dad. The words hung heavily in the air between them like an uninvited fog. Tom swallowed hard, his heart sinking as she mentioned him. In that moment, he wanted nothing more than to ease her worries, to conquer the uncertainties pressing down on them from both sides. Lily, are you okay? He prompted softly, as she ended the call, abandoning her half-finished cone. She ran a hand through her hair, exhaling a shaky breath. I'm sorry. It's just she needs me to come home. The vulnerability in her voice broke through the air, rendering everything else insignificant. I thought I could finally start talking to you, but now no, don't apologize, he urged, his voice steady and calm despite the chaos inside. If you need to go, it's okay. We'll continue this another time. But I don't want to leave, she confessed, her eyes lighting with panic. I finally feel like I'm making progress with you. Tom's heart twisted at her honesty. We can make progress whenever you're ready. Just know that you can reach out to me anytime. I'll be here waiting for you. With those words, he saw a flicker of gratitude pass through her features, and it set his heart ablaze with hope. Maybe this wasn't an end, it could be a beginning to something even greater. She hesitated, glancing toward the hotel as if seeking reassurance. I just don't know how everything will change now. My mom, she's been so overbearing, and now it feels like I have to return to face whatever complications await. Maybe this is your chance to redefine those relationships too. You can show them who you've become, Tom encouraged, feeling more confident than he had just moments before. You're stronger now, and you deserve to be happy. Lily nodded slowly, her shoulders dropping just a touch. You're right. It feels overwhelming. It's hard to think about standing up to her. Tom took a moment, feeling the weight of their connection. I understand. And I'll support you, no matter what. It's okay to take your time, just remember that you're not alone in any of this. Her gaze met his, and in that shared silence, an unspoken understanding passed between them. They were navigating a complex tapestry of their lives, but everything they opened up about allowed them to breathe a little easier. "Can you promise me one thing?" she asked, her voice steady. "Anything," he replied, leaning closer. "Promise me you won't disappear again," she murmured, the vulnerability in her request laying bare the heart of her fears. "I promise," he said, sincerity pouring from him. "No matter what happens next, I'm here to stay." A sense of relief washed over her. She smiled softly, a brightness breaking through the clouds of uncertainty. "Thank you." As they started to walk back to the hotel, the air around them felt lighter. And while Tom had no clue what awaited Lily at home, he was thankful for the way they were forging a path together through the unknown. As they entered the lobby, the warmth enveloped them, bustling with staff and guests alike. The atmosphere buzzed with laughter and chatter, and for the first time in a long while, Tom felt a glimmer of hope for this place they both inhabited. "Let us grab some coffee before you head home," he offered. A welcoming grin spreading across his face. "You know, ice cream is nice, but coffee is where all the best conversations happen." Her laughter rang out in the busy lobby. "Okay, deal." And as they moved toward the counter, navigating the color, sounds, and smiling faces, Tom could feel the possibility stretching before him, a chance to build something new, something strong. No longer just a hotel owner, but a father willing to fight for a place in his daughter's life. That was the truth they had started to uncover together. With every moment, every shared word, they were moving closer to not just healing, but transforming. And with every heartbeat, he would coach himself to remember, this was the future they both deserved. As he walked beside her, Tom replayed the journey they were on, amazed at how far they had come. Memories and scars ran deep, but he could feel the ground beneath them shifting, ready to support their next steps no matter how complicated they might be. And in that moment, he realized the shadows were not lurking, they were retreating, making way for the light of new possibilities. Their bond was beginning to emerge from the darkness. And as the world thrummed around them, he could only think that this was just the beginning of something extraordinary. Embrace your own transformations, just like Tom and Lily did. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.